Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Natasha and this is Free Pattern Friday. And of course, everyone loves a free pattern, don't they? So today I have some randoms, which is just basically what I call them because they're just some bits that I've picked out which aren't necessarily in one of my categories. And then we have a couple of blankets, some wearables, and of course some Amigurumi, because that is my favourite. And so before I go on to that, I would like to wish you all a wonderful weekend, and I hope you're going to get some time to do what you see fit and get some crafty time in. And I would like to say hello to everyone that's brand new on my channel, because I have had an enormous amount of subscribers that are new here, and I hope that you will love it as much as everyone else does. And there's not much else to say, is there, apart from I hope that you all are enjoying my channel. Okay, so let's get into it. We are going to start with the random patterns, and first and foremost I have got a fisherman's hammock storage. Now obviously in the picture there's some yarn, isn't there, but I thought instantly of putting the toys that we make, or just any random toys really that you have or children have in their room, because I think it would be really nice to achieve to make a hammock storage to hang in the corner of a room somewhere, and I think it would be really lovely. And of course, if you want to put your prized possession of yarn in there on display, then that is also a really good idea. And I would personally use definitely cotton for this, because if you were using DK yarn or any other, it may well stretch, and then you might find that it will go loop down onto the floor after some time, that is. And so you can use any cotton yarn for this, but they are Hobby are suggesting that you use rainbow cotton 8x8. And they're suggesting a 3.5mm crochet hook, and you need a tapestry needle, some scissors and stitch markers. And they're also suggesting that you use 3 skeins of the beige colour and 1 skein of the light brown, if you like the colour combination, that is. But of course you can mix and match, and you can make it whatever colour you like in whatever brand of cotton that you like. The finished size is 11 inches by 22 inches, and that's 28 centimetres by 56 centimetres. This hammock will also stretch with use. And the pattern information is that this fun and easy design is customisable to fit a smaller or a larger hammock. It's worked using a mesh stitch and forms a beautiful breezily lace look. If you plan to make a larger size, then you will need more yarn. There's hashtags for social media if you do make one and then you want to tag them, because that would be a really good idea. And also there's a link for the yarn if you would like to purchase the yarn. And also at the moment, if the offer hasn't gone, Hobby are doing free postage, and there is no minimum order amount. So even if you only wanted 1 ball of cotton, then of course that's really good, because there won't be any postage. Foundation chain, they're suggesting an 80 plus 6, which are and the turning chain, sorry, struggling to read my own writing for a moment because I literally just scribbled it on. The turning chain counts as the first arch of the actual first arch of the hammock, and the multiples are 4 plus 6, and the turning chain is the 6. So you can have it at any size you want. Just bear in mind that you put 6 on the end of whatever number as a multiple of 4 that you are comfortable with and or that you require. If you have any questions regarding this pattern, then feel free to email them at support@hobby.com. So all in all, it would be a really nice storage solution, and it would also be a nice decorative piece in any craft room or any room at all that you choose to have one. Okay, so I've got something in my eye. Right. Okay, so when I said random bits, I meant random bits. And some are going to make you smile, I'm sure, because this one certainly makes me smile. And this is a Yarnspirations pattern, and it is called Don't Forgetty Your Yeti Bottle Cozy. And isn't he absolutely cute? I think he's really quite fun. Anyway, it is using Bonnet Maker yarn. Of course, you don't need to use the make. You can choose whatever yarn that you like to use, of course. But that's what the pattern suggests, and as long as you've got 290 meters, I think you'll be fine. And it's they're using 2 different colors, cream and sky blue. That's natural Yeti colors. The Yeti that I am yet to make my husband is blue and cream, so generally they are the colours. And you need roughly 146 meters of the cream colour and 73 meters of the sky blue colour. So in that sense, of course, if you are using the Bonnet Maker, then that's fine, but if you're not, then at least you know that if you look at the meterage or the yardage, of course, because the yards is 160 and 80, and so then obviously then you know that you're definitely going to have enough. So it's not always true if it says 300 grams of such and such. It's not always true, because if the meterage or the yardage is a lot less than what you need, then of course you're going to run out. The skill level is intermediate, and the measurement is 7 inches tall or 18 centimeters, excluding the legs, to fit a standard water bottle, or you just adjust as desired. And the gauge is 14 single crochets, and 14 rows equals 4 inches or 10 centimeters. And the instructions are: do not join at the end of the rounds unless otherwise stated, and continue working in spiral, placing the stitch marker on the first stitch of the round for easier counting. And there he is again. And I think that would be a lovely addition to any child's water bottle, or of course just a Yeti enthusiast. And I think that would be quite a cool little thing, and of course it gives everyone the smile factor when they're walking to school with a water bottle with a cover like that on it, and I just think that would be really, really fun. Okay, so next we have a bag charm. Now, we think of charms as little sparkly things, don't we, that dangle quite a lot and twinkle. Well, this is a mushroom turtle crochet charm. There is an annoying fly in my house. It's been in my house for a good 10 days now, if not longer, and it will come out a little while in the morning and then it will tend to go to sleep or go somewhere, just busy itself, and then it will come out when I least want it to come out. And it's buzzing around now, thinking itself it's going to annoy me. It's landed on my head several times, it's buzzing in my ear and just flying around me. And sometimes it even won't make a noise, but it will just land next to me, and it's really, really frustrating. And as soon as you want to get rid of it, shoo it away, it doesn't, and it just keeps coming back and back and back. And it's just a very annoying fly. And I didn't actually think that flies lived that long, to be honest. Not very long at all. But this one is just bothering me. So if you hear a buzzing on my video, then that is Mr. Fly that won't do one. Let's get back to it, shall we? Sorry about that, but it's just frustrating. Anyway, mushroom turtle crochet charms. Now, I thought these would be a lovely little idea of something that can go on a school bag, especially when they're just about to go back. And obviously for some of you, I do think that the school has already gone back, because in a lot of places they do go back in August already. So what about these as an addition to a brand new school bag? I think they're quite cool. They are using Jeanette blanket brights. Now, of course, you don't need to use them if you don't want them soft. You know, you can use cotton if you want them firmer, or you can just use DK or any other yarn that you do so wish. And the colours that they've got here are blue, pink and lime green, and they have got I'm not sure. They're suggesting to use a 6.5mm crochet hook, but of course if you're not using the blanket yarn, then it won't need a hook as big as that. Just follow your hook requirements that are on your ball band, and if you don't have a ball band, then if you just research what the yarn is, if you know it. Like me, I've gotten to know which is which, even though I don't have a lot of ball bands on my rogue balls down there. And you just kind of get to know what yarn is yarn, the yarn, you know, by just looking at it and looking at the twist that it has, if it has one, things like that. Anyway, the measurement is 5.5 inches, which is 14 centimetres long. The gauge is 9 centimetres and 10 rows, which makes 4 inches or 10 centimetres. And the notes are that rounds will work continuously without joining unless otherwise instructed. Continue working in the spiral and moving the marker onto the first stitch of each round for easier counting. Much the same as the last one. And to make one each of the A, B and C colour for each turtle. Of course, if you've got lots to make, it doesn't matter, but this is what the pattern is for, and that's why it suggests to do one of each colour. And to obtain the gauge, it says that you just need to, I've skipped it, hold on, crochet hook. You just need to use the crochet hook to obtain your gauge. In other words, whatever yarn you're going to use, just make sure they use it, but I've just basically said that anyway. And as long as you've got a stitch marker and a yarn needle and some stuffing, they do suggest using 6mm safety eyes for each turtle keyring, but if you don't want to do that because it's going to be someone younger, then you can always embroider them. and the skill level is easy. So if you like the look of those, then give them a go. I think that they would be lovely, especially for someone that really loves turtles. There it goes again. I don't think it will leave me alone, do you? They're just annoying. Anyway, now we're going to go over to the Yarnspirations. Or we're sticking with the Yarnspirations, shall I say. And we are going to, I'm going to show you an advent calendar. Now, I was a bit unsure whether I'd done something like this before or not, but I'm only just starting to get organised with all of this, and I'm only just starting to write things down, so I hadn't written anything down, and if I need to search for a pattern, then I have to kind of look through the videos and find out which was when, which I had to do the other night. So do bear with me if I have already, but I couldn't find it if I did. And that is the countdown to Christmas. Dare I say it? Sorry for those of you that don't want to listen to it. Christmas Advent calendar. Now I think it would be really, really lovely to have a homemade one, and you can stuff it with all your treats. Now if you're doing it, say, for yourself or for someone that loves to receive crochet gifts and things, maybe it is a fellow YouTuber or something, or you know, for someone that that crochets, it would be lovely if you've got young children. You could make this and then they could put a decoration on every day. Now this one, you make the decorations and you put them into the little things, and then on each day you take it out and put the decoration on the tree, and it's all made. But of course, if you don't want to do that, you can fill it with your own little tiny things and not necessarily put them on the tree. It would just make a nice decoration as it is. But I just thought it would be really, really clever, and hung up on the back of a door or something, in a child's bedroom, or in a front room for the children to do every morning before they go to school. I think that that would be really, really lovely. And the measurements are approximately 25 inches or 63.5 centimetres wide, and 37 inches or 94 centimetres tall. The gauge is 13 centimetres and 14 rows, which equals 4, there it goes again, sorry, go away, 4 inches or 10 centimetres. The instructions are to do the background first, then the edging, and then you do the little tabs. And they're suggesting to use a 5mm crochet hook and Karen Simply Soft is the yarn that they've chosen, but of course you can use anything you like. And it is also a really good scrap project if you've got lots of bits and pieces that you want to use up. This would be a really good project to do it with, apart from obviously the cream bits. Well, they're saying it's off-white, so obviously I would say that it was cream. You need to have 3 balls of that, and they're suggesting a ball each of the other colours. But of course, if you're using up your scraps, then you don't need to worry too much about that. As long as you've got the main base covered and you've got enough green for the tree, then of course that would be fine. Let me think. The skill level is intermediate, and you'll need some stuffing for the little tiny things that you're going to put on the tree, and some 16mm buttons, which are 5/8 of an inch. So think that's really it that I need to explain to you about this one now, but I just thought that it was a good idea to show it now, because although we don't like, or some of us don't like to use the big C word, then you know, if it's going to take a while to do, then it's better to start now so that they're in time for the Advent period. Now, these bits are really random, and I have chosen two, and one is a tree applique. Now, I showed this because I wish I saw this when I was doing my folk art blanket, because I think it's a lovely shape. And of course, although the folk art was very much circles and rectangles and things, to be kind of that, you know, that sort of to give it that sort of look, it would have been really nice to have some different shapes of trees. And when I came across it, I just thought I would show you in case anyone else needed some trees for an applique for any designs that they wanted to do, or, you know, for wall hangings or anything like that, because I do know that Jada in Stitches has got a wall hanging piece that shows a bird table and some other bits and pieces, and it's on a brown and green background, brown and blue background, something like that. But I will link it in the description box below, because that is on my list to do, because I did the folk art and I really enjoyed it, and I would really like to do that as well. So I will post that in the description box below as well. But I thought I would show you that in case you needed a really nice tree applique. Of course, like I said, it's rather random, but I found it and I thought it would be really, really good. They're suggesting to use Friends cotton, which is 8/4, and you'll need to have a skein of chestnut and a skein of malachite. Now, of course, that means green and brown. Don't need to use the cotton that they use, and again, you don't need to use cotton if you don't want to. I used DK for mine when I was doing my folk art blanket, so it wouldn't hurt. And they're suggesting to use a 2.5mm crochet hook, some scissors and a yarn needle. Optional sewing threads and beads if you want to put some bits and pieces on it, and to make the embellishments stick out. The measurements are 3.15 inches or 8 centimeters, and in height, and the width is at the largest point 2 inches or 5 centimeters. This tree will embellish your accessories and garments. It's also an awesome little project to use your leftover yarn for. You can use appliques in many ways, and you can crochet and sew them wherever you want to bring some joy. Have fun matching different appliques to create your own landscape or life scene. There you go. And to sew them onto blankets, cushions, bags, scarves, hat, or even trousers. The possibilities are endless. For children, you can use them as a toy to add Velcro behind the appliques and provide a support, and they will have fun changing the decor all day long. You can put a hashtag for social media, and also there's a link for the yarn if you would like to purchase it. Again, if you need any support with the pattern, then you can email them. But all in all, they wish you happy crafting. There's nothing really that you need to know that's any extra, because as long as you need, you can do the single crochet, half double crochet and double crochet in a magic ring, then that is fine. So there is the tree. Now, whilst we're talking about appliques, I just have one more for you, but I like this one quite a lot. I don't know what you could use it for, but of course Well, maybe a door hanging or something like that on the front of a yarn room. I think that would be really, really clever, or just maybe even on the wall in your yarn room. But it's a yarn ball and hook applique. Now, isn't that just adorable? I thought that was just really, really cool, and of course I had to put it on the list to show you because it is just darling. You don't need to use pink. You could put your favourite colour in there, and of course you can put some even different colour hooks, because I've got different random colour hooks, so you can just make it your own by putting your own style and colour on it. They are saying to use Amigo yarn, and I do actually have a ball of that. Where did I put it? Oh yes, down here. I have a ball of the Amigo yarn, and it is incredibly soft. I showed this when I had my Hobie mystery bag video, which I will link at the end of this video for anyone that hasn't seen it. Again, you don't need to use Amigo if you don't have it and you don't wish to purchase it. That's absolutely fine. But you can use any yarn that you like, and as long as you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 colours. There's these are using grey, ecru, which is like a muted kind of plain colour, sand, dusty green, and delicate rose. But of course, like I said, you can choose your own random colours, that's fine. And then they're suggesting a 3.5mm crochet hook, darning needle, scissors, and a glue gun, which is optional. The Amigo yarn comes in 50-gram balls, I will tell you that. And the abbreviations are just to know, if as long as you know how to do a slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet, you'll be fine. And making sure that you are aware that you need to single crochet 2 together, and also half double crochet 2 together. Again, this is American terms. The measurements are 13 centimeters, which is 5.1 inches high, and 16 centimeters, which is 6.3 inches wide. The pattern information is calling all crochet lovers. Says, calling all crochet lovers. Here is a pattern for a cute little yarn ball and hook. Choose your favourite colour for the yarn ball and spice up your old clothes with this adorable applique. You can adjust the size by using a larger or a smaller hook. Now you see, I wouldn't have thought about putting it on my jacket or something like that, but that can be a really good idea if that is what you really, really like. But I think it would be nice as a little wall hanging on the back of a wall or something, or just on the front of your yarn display, anything like that. I think it would be lovely. Then again, there's hashtag for social media, and there's a link for the yarn, and if you need any support with the pattern, then of course you can email them. So I just had to show you that because of the fact it was just another random thing, but it was just adorable, and I've not seen anything like that before, so I had to show you. Right, so now that's the random things out the way. Now I've got a couple of blankets for you, and so I am going to show you those. The first one is a Watch Me Grow crochet blanket. Now on Facebook and even TikTok, places like that. I've seen lots and lots of children or babies have these things lying next to them with 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and they generally come in little cards. And I have occasionally seen a blanket where they lie on a blanket to have their photo taken, and then you just basically circle the month that they are, and then at each stage you can have they take the photo, so then they can see how big they were when it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, and even up to 12 months old. And I thought that would be a really lovely idea for a photo shoot, and so it would be ideal if someone was to make it for that sort of thing. And they're suggesting to use Jeanette Baby Blanket Tiny, and they are suggesting that you need to use 6 balls of it, and it comes in 100-gram balls, which is 288 meters, and the colour, if you do have Baby Blanket Tiny by Jeanette, is polar bear, but of course you don't need to worry about that if you can use anything you like. And they're also suggesting to use Jeanette Softy Baby Chunky in the colour Night Night, and you need 2 balls of that, which is 140-gram balls, 142 meters. And another Jeanette Softy Baby for the contrast colour is Mint, and that is just the bit that goes around for the circle to make sure that you know how many months old the child is, or even a puppy or something. That would be so cool, wouldn't it, if you can get your puppy to sit there from 1 month and so on and so forth. You could always go to the breeder and say, can I have a photo, you know, when you if you are lucky enough to want to choose one, or you know of one that have just been born or whatever, and you choose it really early, that would be a cool idea too. And the same with kittens, I suppose. Anyway, the hook sizes are 4 millimeters and also 5 millimeters as well, depending on the yarn you use, of course, because if you're using any other yarn, then make sure that you look at the hook that you need for that. The measurements are 50 inches, which is 127 centimeters square. The skill level is easy, and the gauge is 15 single crochets and 16 rows to make 4 inches with and it says with a smaller hook, and 12 centimeter I keep saying centimeters, 12 single crochets and 13 rows is 4 inches, which is 10 centimeters. Instructions are just that you put a chain of 181. All the numbers are worked with a larger hook, and for the numbers you chain the various the various number of chains. For the number 1, for argument's sake, it's chaining 22, and for the number 2 it's chaining 30. And that's it. That's all I have to really tell you about the pattern. As long as you know how to repeat, and again, you know, double crochets, and you know the right side and the wrong side, I'm sure you'll be fine. So you can do it in any colour you like. Okay, so there's that one. And whilst we're on about blankets, there's just one more. Now I found this one, and I thought it would be really lovely to show you, mainly just because it's a diagonal blanket, but normally you see stripes, and the only diagonal ones that I have seen is when you do the corner to corner. But this is really lovely, and I love the stitches as well. and I'm not sure whether that will focus properly, but I just thought it was a really, really lovely looking stitch. Now this is a Yarnspiration pattern, and the pattern itself is from Hannah Brown McKay from Daisy Farm Crafts, and she's suggesting to use a light number 3 yarn, which is Bernette Softy Baby, and the skill level is easy. And there in the picture it's using soft peach, and they're suggesting to use they're telling you that the requirement is 5 balls, and again they come in 140 grams, which is 331 meters, and the yarn, the hook for the crochet hook you need is 5 millimeters, or the size obviously that you need, depending on other yarn that you use. The measurements are 34 by 40 inches, which is 86.5 by 101.5 centimeters, and the gauge is 15 stitches and 13 rows for 4 inches or 10 centimeters in the pattern. And the instructions are to chain 2 at the beginning of the row, which does not count as the stitch. But I thought that was really, really pretty, and so I had to show you. That's basically also a number 3 weight is roughly about a double knit DK, if you don't already know that. Okay, so we are going to move on to some wearables now, and I'm just going to make sure that I've got them all and they're not mixed up like last time. Okay, so something for the legs and something for the arms. So for the legs we have some leg warmers. Now I don't think it's going to focus very well because it's on a blue background and the leg warmers are blue, so I don't know why they do it. I think they should print it on a different background, but anyway, never mind. I always thought that leg warmers were something that only we had when we were little, because they were around in our younger day, back in the 80s and things, but not so much now. But it's one of the new patterns that have come out on Yarnspirations, so they must be coming back into fashion. And of course, if you've got someone that walks the dog really early and it's really cold, then it's a good thing. And also someone that if they're walking to school as well, I think that would be a nice addition, because they can always whip them off before anyone sees if they're embarrassed by it, which if they're coming into fashion, of course they won't be embarrassed by it, but just in case. The materials that they're suggesting is the LLARMA Halo, which is perfect phasing, and that's 500 grams, or 1,059 yards, or 968 meters. And they also do extra small to small or medium, and you just need a ball for each size, which isn't too bad at all. And they're suggesting a 5.5mm crochet hook, or the size that you need to obtain the hook, depending on the yarn that you choose, if you do not wish to use the LLARMA Halo. And also I quite like these patterns because of the fact the small and the medium and the large and the extra large are in different colours. I don't know if you can see that properly. So when you're reading the pattern, you can just follow the red if it's the small and medium, or the orange for the large or the extra large. The yarn is a 5 bulky weight that they're suggesting, but of course it's up to you. You may not want something as warm as a bulky on your legs, and then you may well just want just a little tiny little bit of extra especially if you've got tights on and put those over the top or something, then you may only need to have double knit to keep you warm. But that's not too bad at all. And the pattern was only put there from the 16th of July 2024. So like I said, it's quite brand new. The instructions are written for the sizes. If changes are necessary for the larger size, the instructions will be written in the specific colours. The numbers for each size are shown in the same colour throughout the pattern. When only one number is given in black, it applies to all sizes. So the other notes are, before starting leg warmers, divide the yarn into 5 sections of colour to represent dominant shade changes from centre to ball outwards. And the beginning of the centre section, label the 5 sections A, B, C or D to correspond to the pattern references. Again, if you're just using a random mixed ball, then you won't need to worry about that anyway. But I just wanted to show you, just in case, because they make some lovely Christmas, there's the C word, some lovely presents, whether it's birthday or for Christmas. Oh, there's something on the back I didn't see. Oh, no, that's fine. There's a better picture of them on the back, I didn't even realise. So there you go, they're just really simple but really quite effective. And then we have some for the arms. Now we all have wrist warmers. We've seen the wrist warmers, and the when you use the mittens, you can have them go up so far as up to here even, so that your sleeves are covered, because there's nothing worse than the cold going up your sleeve if the wrist bit is too short. But I saw these and I wanted to show you them because they are elbow length warmers, wrist warmers. So of course they go right the way up. So it means that if you if you only like to wear a t-shirt like myself, then of course you can just put those on whilst you're out, and it won't affect the jumper or anything, and you can just put a jacket over the top or whatever, or just a fleece even, loosely, but just so that you can keep them keep yourself warm. There's a lovely picture of it on the back. No, sorry. And basically they're saying to use a medium weight, which is a 4, which is usually about an Aran, DK / Aran, and they're saying to use the Karen Macchiato cakes, and they're saying that you'll need 1 ball or 134 meters or 345 yards, a 5.5mm crochet hook, or the size of the gauge given. Size needed to obtain the gauge that you need, especially if you're using other brands of yarn. They're one size to fit adults, 17 inches long. Oh, did I tell you that on these? Hold on a moment. I'm not sure if I did, but the size for the leg warmers are 14.5 inches or 37 centimetres, with a circumference of 16.5 inches or 42 centimetres long, and the large to extra large is 18 inches, which is 45.5 centimetres circumference, times by 16.5 inches or 42 centimetres long, and they will stretch to fit. Again, these pretty much say the same thing, but they're approximately 17 inches, which is 43 centimetres long, and the gauge is 13 single crochets and 15 rows to make 4 inches, and you have to make 2 exactly the same with the leg warmers. And it says, note, the wrist warmers are worked in a round, turning at the end of each round to alternate right side, wrong side, When working thumb opening rounds, they're not joined and opening section is worked in rows. The beginning at the top edge, chain 38, and then join with a slip stitch to fit to the first chain to form a ring, and taking care not to twist it. Now, I do have a tip for that, to be able to not twist it, and that is if you work in the back bumps to start with, because as long as you can hold the chain quite level, it is quite tricky, but it is good if you can get to grips with it, because I've done that, and I do that especially for all sorts of things like the donut cowls that we're doing, and all sorts of things, because I don't like the holes that it leaves right at the end when you're doing the first single crochet all the way around. So that's something to bear in mind. Okay, now we have a timeless shawl using the Sultan Deluxe. Now, I wasn't sure whether I had shown this one or not either, because I am sure that they have got, it's the yarn that makes me think I've shown something, so it may well have been a different shawl but in the same yarn, so I'm not sure. You just have to bear with me, and at the end of the day, if you've heard it all before, you can just kind of roll your eyes and wait for the next one. But the timeless shawl is with Sultan Deluxe, and the material is Cotton Kings Sultan Deluxe, crochet hook 4mm, or if you're in the US, the sizing is a G or a size 6. Measurements are 170 by 66 centimeters, and you need to use 1 cake of Sultan Deluxe. Of course, you don't need to use that yarn, you can use any yarn you like, but that is the yarn that is shown in the picture, so if you like it, then it's worth it. But there is lots and lots of brands with similar colourings that you can also search for. Let me think, what else do I need to tell you about it? There isn't really anything that I can tell you about it, because there wasn't very much information. It's just treble crochet, double crochet and single crochet, and as long as you know how to, you can learn in the pattern to do raised double crochet front and raised double crochet back. Now, I'm sure what they mean is front and back post doubles, which is easy, and you can always put it in YouTube, and I'm sure that there's a tutorial for it anyway, because I know there is for the front post and back post, but the raised thing that they're on about, I think it's just a posh word for it. So it'll be fine. It explains it all in the pattern anyway, and it does make show detailed photos as well, because I had a look, but I didn't want to print it all out, obviously, because it's a lot of paper and a lot of ink. So there is the timeless shawl. And now we are sticking with wearables, and I have got 2 cardigans. One is for a child, and one can be for a child, I suppose, depending, maybe a young kind of teenager kind of thing, because the sizes for this is extra small, small or medium, and then it goes large, extra large, and then 2, 3, 4 and 5XL. So yeah, you know, kind of a little bit older child maybe, but definitely adult. And it's nice that they make they give you instructions for the larger sizes as well, because it can be quite daunting otherwise to know how much to use and how much to expand it by and such and so forth, because there isn't very many that I see that are in the XXXXX ones, and so it's really good to know that there are patterns out there to be able to make. Now this one makes me smile, because if you get fed up with doing the squares, you can just do the zigzags and do the granny stripe. and it won't look like you've got fed up either, will it? I think that's really, really quite cool. And it says that this is called the On the Bright Side crochet cardigan, and again, there isn't very much information. They're using the Red Heart Super Saver, and all of the colours, it's all colour coded for the larger colours. Now I'm not sure if I can put my hand behind there to make it a bit darker so that you can see that it's red, orange and green, and then you just follow how many balls you need for each individual size. The size of the crochet hook you need is a 5mm hook, and you'll need some buttons and some stitch markers and a yarn needle. And the sizes for the small, medium, extra small, small, medium is 28 to 38 inches. The large to extra large is 40 to 46, and the 2, 3, 4 and 5XL is from 48 to 62 inches, and then there's the equivalent, and the finished chest is 44, 56 or 68. And of course you can use any yarn you like and any colours you like, but I just thought it would be quite cool so that if you're wacky enough to wear it, because it would take, I think it would take a brave person, but of course, you know, at the end of the day it takes all sorts, and if you're happy wearing some random shaped clothes in that sense, where it is a bit random with the stripes and the squares, then that's absolutely fine, because we're always making things like that, and I always see Pinterest absolutely full of things like this, so it's it must be really popular anyway. The gauge is 13 single crochets and 14 rows, which equates to the 4 inches, and the motif is 3 inches. The instructions are written for the small, extra small, small, medium. If changes are necessary for the larger sizes in the instructions, they'll be written in the different colours, and the numbers for each size are shown in the same colour throughout. And when only one number is given in black, it applies to all sizes. And that's really all there is to say, because it goes straight into the pattern then. So let's turn it back over. And a medium weight, as I said before, is around about a 4, which is what we call an Aran. And then we've got a child's cardigan, which I thought would be really nice for a beginner, because it's only got rows of bobbles ever so often, and it is just double crochets. And the sizes are 0 to 6 months, 9 to 12 months, 18 to 24 months, 2 years, 4 years, 6, 8 and 10 years. So you can make lots of them for each stage of the sizes really. And the crochet hooks needed is a 4 and a 3.75, a tapestry needle, scissors, stitch marker and measuring tape. And they're suggesting to use Highland wool from Hobby, which is 100% Peruvian wool. Well, of course, you don't need to if you don't want to do that. Sorry about my eye. You don't have to use that. You could use DK, or you can use acrylic, or anything you like. The gauge is 10 by 10 centimeters, which is 4 by 4 inches, and it's roughly around about 18 stitches to 11 rows. As long as you know what back loop only and single crochet together and slip stitches and things are, then that's fine. And if you don't, there is tutorials for them. The suggested chest measurement are for 0 to 6, and then it just explains all the different measurements all individually. And then the pattern information is that the bubblegum cardigan is a cosy bottom-up cardigan designed and is based on the measurements of the child for the custom fit. Patterns included suggestions, measurements, and for each section. There's hashtags for the social media, and there's a link for the yarn if you do so choose to want to buy it. And again, there is the email that you can send if you want some support about the pattern. Okay, so the next thing I just thought I would show you because I thought it was quite cool. Now it is a wearable, but it is a wearable of a different sort. And I mentioned puppies earlier, didn't I, for that blanket. And so I also thought that I would show you this, which is a puppy dog pouch. Now, do you have a small tiny puppy or a small dog breed? Because obviously if it's a larger dog breed, it won't last that long in there. So it's designed for small ones, say Chihuahua or sausage dog maybe, or Yorkshire Terrier, something like that. But wouldn't, or even a Jack Russell, I suppose. But isn't that such a lovely, cool idea to actually make a bag for your little pooch? And the designer is Maria Trujillo. Sorry if I've butchered it. And it's Homemade Heart 44 Hobby Designs. And the materials that you'll need is made from ribbon and 2 skeins of Friends cotton 8/4. Now I have seen the crochet ribbon over at the range where we live here in the UK. If you're not familiar with the range, it's a homewares place that you can buy all sorts of things, and I have seen the crochet, the stuff that you crochet on it, and it does have ribbon on it, and it is quite thick. Anyway, the crochet hooks that you need for it are 8mm and a 5mm hook with some stitch markers and a yarn needle. The ribbon by Hobby is a number 5 weight, and it's 100% cotton, and it says that you'll need 250 grams, which is 137 yards, and the Friends cotton is 50 gram balls, and you need 175 yards. The gauge is 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, and again, front and back post double crochets with some half double crochets and single crochets. The size is 1 size, and it's made for small dogs under 4.5 kilos, which is roughly about 10 pounds. And the measurement is, the base of the width is 20 inches by 20 inches by 7.5 inches, which is 51 centimeters by 19 centimeters. The depth of it is 20 centimeters, which is 8 inches, and the strap length is 33 inches or 84 centimeters, and the strap width is 2.5 inches or 6 centimeters. The pattern information is that it's a heavy duty bag that is made to carry your small dog around. It is made with 2 strands of the ribbon held together, which makes a rather fast project. The dog has 2 partial pockets. No, the dog has 2 practical pockets and a small decorative heart made in Friends cotton. So in actual fact, if you don't want to put the heart on it, then you don't really need to. But if I were you, I would go with something quite tough like that if it's going to hold your loved one. And so maybe it is worth investing in the ribbon. There is obviously other makes of ribbon yarn that you can use for it. Not necessarily the Hobie, but it is a very good idea and a good pattern, especially if you carry your little dog around. Now, I will leave that one there a second. The information and the tips of the base of the bag is with 2 strands of the ribbon yarn held together, worked around the chain and the bottom, and it's made bottom up. The strap length is customizable to your preference. Beginning chain does not count as a stitch unless otherwise specified. And the base of the bag holds 2 strands, and you basically chain 21, and then it just goes straight into the pattern. So there is the base, and I just think, although it looks like a very small bag there, I should imagine there'll be room for your little loved one to be able to turn around if it does so choose to want to turn around in. But I don't have a dog myself, so I'm not really sure, but I just thought I would show you because of it being a quite snazzy idea and something to achieve making yourself. Okay, now we have a winter glow cowl. Now this one, there is pictures. I printed it off because I wasn't sure. I didn't realise the whole lot would print, so I'm not sure. But there are lots and lots of pictures for it, and it's a winter glow cowl. And they're saying that you need a 6mm hook and 3 buttons. The yarn consumption is 1 skein of approximately 110 grams. The measuring is prior to assembly is approximately 42.5 inches by 9.4 inches, and the crochet tension is 13 stitches by 11 rows, which is 4 by 4. Now, if you can see that, it was just something different, and the fact that it's all held up nicely together, and each pattern gives you visual instructions so you can see if you are going right or wrong again, and things like that. And then you end up with it just like a normal scarf, and then you piece it together like that. So I just wanted to show you really to make sure that you were aware of it. So I just didn't realise it would print the whole thing, so I just thought I would show you the variation of how it builds up now that I've got it in front of me. So there is a cowl if you would rather that than a shawl. And now we have the Grisaille. That's if I've said it right. Don't shoot me if I have butchered it. It's a crochet pattern called, which is a rectangular laced shawl. The designer is Anna D, and it is from summer this year, so it's a new pattern. And isn't that lovely? I really, really love that, and one day I am going to give it a go. And they're saying to use the Unicorn Solid by Hobie in the colour mustard, and you need 3 skeins of it, and it's a 3.5mm hook. Always use a hook size that will result in the correct gauge after blocking, and the gauge is 21 stitches and 9 rows, or 4-inch squares in the leaves pattern after blocking. Hashtag for social media is the actual shawl itself, the pom-pom yarn, and the fact that it's a summer pattern. The measurements are 66 inches wingspan and 31 deep at the centre point. The pattern information is that the Grisaille is worked in rows from the top to the bottom, from the top down in an all over reversible leaf pattern. Shawl is worked as a half square with a column of shell motifs at the centre back, and picots are worked along the bottom edge. There is a link for the yarn, and then if you've got any questions, of course, then you can email them, as we've said lots of times already before. So isn't that stunning? I love the colour, I love the shape, I love the design, and it really will be something that I would love to have around my neck. So I thought I would share it with you. And the last shawl I have is the Sweetheart shawl, which is very similar to the Kaleidoscope shawl that I made already, and I love the little love hearts, or the sweetheart bits on the bottom, if you can see that. I don't know if it's going to focus very well, but it has got little hearts on it, and it says that you it's an intermediate skill level, crochet hook number 4 millimeters, and the color is in unicorn, and you need to do a puff stitch, which is a 3 double crochet puff stitch. Of course it explains it there, but you can also find a tutorial on YouTube if you want to find out how to do it and actually watch how it's done as well. And there's the hearts that go on the bottom, and it gives you the information there how to make those, and they give you the link to buy the yarn if you do so choose to want to do that. And there isn't much else I can say because it goes straight into the pattern, but I wanted to show you. And of course you can do it in any colour you like and any yarn you like. But that is the end of the shawls. Now we are going to look at some amigurumi, and then I'll be finished, so it won't be very much longer now. Okay, so I have found this week I drew the last week actually I drew the succulent square to do on my 3D granny square cowl that I am running on my channel. And so I thought, well, when I stumbled across this pattern, I thought, well, why not? You know, let's keep the succulent going. And I just think it's absolutely adorable. It is made with Bernat blanket yarn, but of course you can use whatever yarn you like. But it does look quite squishy and squashy, doesn't it? Like a succulent with that yarn. But isn't that just lovely? There is version 1 and version 2. And they say to use 5 balls and a 6.5mm crochet hook, some markers, some fibre fill, and some safety eyes if you want to use them. If not, and you want to put faces on them, then of course you can just embroider them. The skill level for this is intermediate, and it's approximately 24 inches in diameter by 10 inches tall, measuring from the tip of the leaves. The gauge is 8 centimeters, 9 rows to make 4 inches, and the instructions are noted to not join at the ends of the rounds unless otherwise stated, and continue working in a spiral, placing markers on the first stitch of the round for easier counting. And that's basically it. It goes all the way, it goes straight into the pattern then. And I just thought that you would love to see it, and wouldn't it be lovely for a succulent or a cacti collecting person to have a crocheted one? Wouldn't that be so good? So I had to show you. And the pattern came out last March, so it isn't that old either. Right, next we have a llama. Now, llama no drama is the pattern is called, and it's an intermediate pattern again, and they're saying to use Red Heart with Love in several different colours. Now I chose this one because of the techniques, and of course it's quite a difficult thing to get the loops right, and so I thought I would show it just in case there was anyone that wanted to learn something new and also that loves Amigurumi. And I just thought it was cute, so had to show you. The measurements are 14.5 inches tall by 11 inches long, excluding the tail, 19 single crochets and 20 rows, which is 4 inches or 10 centimetres with a smaller hook. The instructions are that the safety eyes are attached before the head is complete. Do not use safety eyes if making it for a child under 4 years old, and the face is completed with simple embroidery. Join all rounds with a slip stitch to the first half double crochet, and then it goes straight into the pattern. You need to use a 3.75mm hook and an 8mm hook for the loop stitch, I would assume. And you need two 15mm safety eyes and some stuffing. If you're not using it, obviously you can embroider your eyes on yourself. And it takes a medium 4, which is basically a roundabout a DK/Aran. Some DKs are thicker than others. Now we are going to move on to another hobby pattern, and it's Dotti the piglet. This was another one that I wasn't sure whether I'd already done before, but I saw it and I thought, even if I haven't, it doesn't matter. So I will show you anyway. And the skill level is advanced for this one, and the crochet hook is 3.5mm, and the materials are a bit of rainbow lace or another black yarn, lace yarn for the eyebrows, and a bit of yellow and blue for the flowers, and a bit of white for around the eyes, toy stuffing, safety eyes, 6mm. Of course, if you're not using them, don't worry, you can embroider them. And you need a button, and which is 15mm. They're saying to use rainbow cotton, but of course you can use any at all. I personally use DK for most of mine. I don't very rarely use cotton at all. And as long as you know what a single crochet is, magic ring, increasing and decreasing, you'll be fine. And the repeated number is always in the brackets. You can purchase the yarn there in the with the link, and of course you can always email them for support. So I just thought I would show you that one. And now we are coming over. Last week I said to you about the lion's mane on this one, and so I thought I would include him, and that is the lion Amigurumi, and his name is Leon, and he is inspired by all the fantastic positive responses from you all on the recent patterns, and he has more. I now have more courage to try out and share with you my more free patterns and animal designs. So feel free to check out the next few patterns for the series of stuffed animals and crochet patterns, which we've been doing on this channel, because I've fallen in love with all of them, and so I thought it would be nice to show you. Anyway, joining the Craft Passion family, the first wild animals to come in was Leo the lion, and I did say that I was going to share him this week. Leon is the first to join the new Animal and Welfare Amigurumi gang, and he's versatile enough to stand or sit, and he is about 13.5 centimetres, and sitting he's about 10.5. And of course you can do all sorts of colour manes and all sorts of colour lions, can't you? Inspired, oh, I read that bit, that's fine. And now it says this stuffed lion is crocheted from DK lightweight acrylic yarn using a 2.5mm hook, and those And with these, Leon ended up being a nice, snuggable, huggable lion stuffed animal and is perfect size for young children. Of course, you can alter the size by using different types of yarn. The thicker the yarn, the larger the hook, such as medium yarn with a 3mm hook, and give you a bigger stuffed lion. In comparison, the lighter yarn will give you with a smaller hook, such as the light baby yarn, will only need a 2mm and yield a smaller sized lion. Your crochet tension will also affect the size, and the tighter the yarn, the smaller the crochet toy. The tension is quite snug, and the Amigurumi lion may be a little bit smaller than yours. So even if you're using the same weight of yarn and the hook that the designer is, the crochet lion may not be turning out the same size. So you need a darning needle, some fabric markers, water erasable if you do so want to choose to. I don't use them. And you need some cardboard, which is 4 inches, and I'm assuming that is to be able to allow him to sit, to give him a little bit of stability, and then scissors and pins. So if you love him and you want to give him a home, then of course have a go, see if you can make him. Or if you know someone that can make him for you, then that would be even better. Okay, so now I have the last Amigurumi, Maple the mouse. Now, isn't she adorable? She is just the best thing. And I know that Jeanette from Crafty Clegs and also Helen from the Mousy Makes pod would absolutely love this pattern too, because isn't she just adorable? And the fact that she's got a pumpkin in her barrel and pulling it along is even better. But I just had to show you because she is just so lovely and I didn't want to leave her out. The designer is Gracie Bobbins, and that Hobby Designs, and the materials are rainbow cotton 8/4 if you are using the hobby one, of course, but any cotton or even DK, I don't mind using DK for it, like I say. Just make sure that you use the right hook size for the band of whatever the material you're using. The measurements are about 6 inches tall, and the pattern information is that this pattern includes written instructions and helpful step-by-step photographs throughout to help you create your own cute mouse and a pull cart. There's hashtags for the social media, and you need 8mm crochet, 8mm safety eyes if you're going to use them, some stuffing, some embroidery floss, an embroidery needle, some stitch markers and some scissors. And they're saying to use a 2mm hook, but of course that's up to you depending on what yarn you are using. You are fine with this if you know sorry, as long as you know single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet and back and front loop only stitches, then of course, and increase and decrease, then you'll be fine. And if not, like I say, there are YouTubers out there that have got tutorials that can show you. The information and the tips are that this pattern is worked in continuous rounds unless otherwise stated. At the end of each round, continue to work in a spiral. There is no need to slip stitch to close each round unless otherwise stated, and the chains in this pattern are not counted as stitches unless otherwise stated. If you are using a different yarn weight than specified, then always use the recommended smaller hook than specified on the yarn. Always use a smaller hook than specified on the yarn label, such as when I use my DK, I always use a 2.75 hook for my amigurumi. If I'm doing it in Aran, then I generally use a 3.25 or a 350. Or a 350. So that is the wonderful mouse, and that is the little cart. Oh, it's so cute. Maple has got to be my favourite today. And then last but not least, I am starting to make some food for the school classroom, and today I have chosen the mushroom, and so I thought I would share it with you. Now the material is cotton, and the measurements are 3.5 centimetres or 1.4 inches, and the mushroom is perfect for playing and cooking. There's hashtags for social media, there's a link for the yarn, and they're saying to use Friends cotton 8/4, which is 100% cotton, but again, you can use whatever you like. I've made cake with DK, and so I will probably do that with this because I don't have a lot of cotton anyway, and if they get a bit furry then it doesn't matter, because obviously the more they get used, the more fluffier they'll get because of the yarn just kind of getting all floofy, but it would be fine. And as long as you know what a magic ring is, single crochet, back and front loops and increasings, you will be absolutely fine, and it's quite easy for you to make. The designer is Sign Elfried. I think I might have butchered it, but I will show you. I know it's backwards, but there it is, and it's Hobby Designs. So that brings me to the end of Free Pattern Friday. So the only thing I didn't tell you was to get yourself a drink right at the end, did I? Again, and I forgot all about it. But if you've lasted this long without a drink, or if you've paused me so that you can go and get a drink, then good on you. And I'm sorry that I didn't warn you that it was going to be another long one, because I wasn't sure how long it was going to take. But now they are around about an hour to hour and a half, because they've got such lovely patterns out there that I need to share with you. And of course, when we're talking about it and I'm letting you know what you need and things, it does take quite a while. So I am going to go now and leave you to it. Now, one thing I do need to say before I go is that by the time you are watching this on Friday morning, I will be off on my little short break hollybob. We are off to Manchester and Liverpool for a couple of days. We are going to be back on Saturday. So today is actually Wednesday, and I am filming this tonight so that I can get it uploaded and ready scheduled so you still get it on Friday, even though I'm off doing what I need to do. And the projects that I have chosen to take with me are the African flowers, so that I can press on and do a few of those, the baby blanket because I'm almost finished with it, and also the, what else did I say I was going to take? Oh yes, my dragonfly shawl is going to come with me as well. So if I get time in the hotel in the evenings, then that's what I will be working on. So thank you very much for watching, and if you've lasted this long, thank you very much, and I will see you all on, actually I will see you on Sunday, because I have got my monthly roundup to share with you and my expectations for September. So I can't wait to tell you and show you what I've been up to all of the month, because to see it all in one place as much as I can, apart from the things that I've already gifted, it would be amazing to be able to show you everything that I've made in 1 month, because it is quite a lot this time. Anyway, I won't keep you any longer. Like and subscribe. Comment below, tell me what your favourites are, and I will see you on Sunday when I get back, and I will let you know what else I've been getting up to. Take care, my lovelies, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.